Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shrutismriti-Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritav Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavid Vishavahai Om Shanti 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 Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. The Jnana Marga, the Jnana Yoga consists of Shravanam, Mananam, Manididhyasanam. That Shravanam is nothing but a systematic study of the scriptures under the guidance of a guru, competent teacher, and all that. And the purpose of the study we must clearly understand. If that study does not accomplish what it should, and that was talked about in the 59th verse that we saw last class. We saw Avijñāte pare tattve शास्त्रादितिस्तु nishpala Vijñātepi pare tattve shāstrāditistu nishpala. This Shastra study is nishpala. Nishpala means useless. The study that we undertake becomes useless if you don't get the message of the Shastra. What the Shastra teaches you, if you don't get it, if you don't understand it, then it's a useless effort. And sometimes you do understand the supreme reality. And that supreme reality, that Brahman you are, All that you understand. And once you get that, you don't need to study anymore. So the Shastric study after that also is useless. So when you read this, again and again, at least twice he says Shastric study is useless. Is it totally purposeless? No, no, no. You must understand this properly. So the conclusion is that study, the Shastra study, that scholarship is useful if we can get the moksha, the liberation, etc. If that doesn't happen, it has been a waste. And once you gain that knowledge, you realize, then you don't have to keep studying. From then on, job accomplished, mission accomplished. You don't need to put forth that study. That is what was said. And one more thing about this study, we need to be very careful. And he cautioned us, Shabdajalam Maharanyam Chitta Brahmana Karanam. Atah Prayatnat Jnatavyam Tatvajnanaihi Tattvam Atmanah. So one should not be caught up in the Shabda Jala, in the net of the words of the Shastra. The Shastras are huge, and you can get lost, just like you get lost in a dense, vast forest. In the same way, you get into Shastric studies, you study this, you study that, and if you have developed a vasana for that Shastra vasana, then you keep on studying, but don't get and realize the truth. So he wants us. And now he continues. He continues to emphasize the Atma Jnana. So let us read verse 61. Ajnana sarpadastasya brahmajnanaushadam vina kimu vedaischa shastraischa किमु वेदैश्च शास्त्रैश्च किमु मन्त्रैः किमु किमौषधैः किमु मन्त्रैः किमौषधैः अज्ञानसर्पदष्टस्य ब्रह्मज्ञानौषधं विना किमु वेदैश्च शास्त्रैश्च किमु मन्त्रैः किमौषधैः. Here Bhashyakara reminds us the goal that we should remember when we study the scriptures. What is it? He is reminding us. The goal is the removal of the samsara poison. He uses the analogy of poison, snake poison, and how to get rid of that. So this samsara is like a poison. And this has come because of a snake bite. What is a snake bite? Ajnana sarpadashtasya. This snake is a special snake, unique snake, and it is Ajnana sarpa. It's a snake of ignorance, metaphorically speaking. It's only symbolic. The snake of ignorance has bitten me. This Ajnana snake has bitten all of us. It is anadi. This ignorance is beginningless. So the biting is only to indicate that we are all afflicted by this ignorance, ajnana. This anadi, it's always been there. There was not a one particular time we got hit with it, bitten by the snake. No, no, no. I am afflicted by samsara. The samsara poison has entered into my system, and that expresses as I'm not happy with myself. I need people to be happy. I need everything to be just right so that I can be happy. All these external things I want. Mhm. So when I don't have it, I am miserable. Mhm. And then I go after them. You know, I go all around reaching out to people. Please love me, love me, love me. So like that, makes me go after things, after experiences. If I get that, I'm happy for a little while. Whatever I get does not stay with me, then I'm unhappy. If I'm not able to get it, again I'm unhappy. So this is what is happening, and this is called samsara. This samsara, brahmajnana aushadam without, it will never go away. Without what? Brahmajnanam. Brahmajnana aushadam. Without the medicine of Brahmajnana, Atmajnana, self-knowledge, this samsara will not go away. The knowledge that I am Brahman, I need to get that, take that medicine, and then I am free, then I get rid of that samsara. Then I will say, I do not require love from somebody else because I am the very embodiment of love. Purnatvam, that completeness is there, the fullness is there. When that fullness is expressed, it shows up as love. I don't have to seek love, but I give love. I love everyone. The expressed limitation is seeking for love. Mhm. And when I'm incomplete, I seek that. When I'm complete, I just give love, kindness, compassion, everything. That is the empirical expression of that Purnatvam, completeness. So without the discovery of my fullness, which is called here Brahma Jnana Aushadam. Aushadam means medicine. So this is the medicine. So why does Shankaracharya use the word Aushadam, medicine? Because he has compared Ajnana to a snake and the samsara to be the poison, the venom that the snake is bitten to me. So that poison needs an antivenom. And that Brahmajnanam is that antidote that has to be injected for the samsara poison to be gotten rid of. Without this Brahmajnanam, you can do anything, everything in your life, but your samsara will continue. Therefore, he says, without this knowledge, kimu vedaihi, what is the use of reciting any amount of Vedas? Chanting Vedas or karma kanda of the Vedas or doing all kinds of upasana, what is the use without getting this knowledge? Earlier in verse 58 and 59, especially the 58th verse, he talked about Shastric study is useless. And here he is talking about the karma kanda, whatever rituals are prescribed there, and then the upasana kanda, whatever upasanas, if you go on doing that, but you don't get this knowledge, what good is it? Kimu Shastraischa, here Shastra does not mean Vedanta Shastra, does not include Vedanta Shastra. It means Vedanta Anya Shastra, other sciences. Tarka, Mimamsa, Vyakarana, logic, analytics, grammar, and all that are all aparavidya. You study all that, you become an expert in that. What is the prayojanam? What is the use? Then kimu mantraihi. What is the use of being initiated into mantras? I've taken 2 mantras, I've taken 3 mantras from 3 different acharyas. Anytime I see a Mahatma, a saint, immediately ask, initiate me into some mantra. You get initiated and you do the Anushtanam also. I do the mantra japa Anushtanam. What is the use? You have not gotten the knowledge. And on top of that, you picked up so many different these Anushtana that you have to practice and you don't have time. And you are scared to drop that also. If they are dropped, I may end up with even worse results. So, what is the use of mantras? Then, kimu aushadaihi. What is the use of any amount of medicines? Here we should be careful. Shankaracharya does not criticize karma kanda here. He's not criticizing japa and all that. All those sadhanas, don't think they are being criticized. No. He praises all that. He has spoken elaborately about this puja, about japa, all that. You may remember back in the 11th verse, Chittasya Shuddhaye Karma. Mental purity can come only through puja. And then that focus of mind can come only through japa. All that is there. They have a purpose to serve. After gaining purity of mind, then they are not relevant. Do not discontinue those religious practices, all those sadhanas prematurely. You retain them. Mantra, japa, puja, etc. You do it, you also act as a model for the next generation. All that you do. But you understand the role properly. They are all for preparing you for jnana. Once you get that jnana yogita, pursue jnana. And that should culminate in that realization, in moksha, in that liberation. So whether it is the karma, upasana, or jnana, the final goal is not reached, then it is useless. So that is the point that's being made here. So clearly understand that. Studying the Vedanta Shastra, I should gain that purnatvam, completeness, fulfillment should be there. Otherwise, without that, kimu, what indeed kimu, what indeed is the prayojana? What's the use? So, very clearly understand what Bhagwan Shankaracharya is saying. He continues, Nagachati vinapanam, Nagachati vinapanam, Vyadir aushada shabdatah, Vyadir aushada shabdatah, Vina parokshanubhavam, Vina parokshanubhavam, Brahma Shabdairna Muchyate. Brahma Shabdairna Muchyate. Nagacchati Vinapanam. Vyadir Aushada Shabdatah. Vina Parokshanubhavam. Brahma Shabdairna Muchyate. Even the Vedanta Shastra will not help. It will not help a person if it remains at the lip level. It's not meant for lip service. It's not meant for verbal jugglery, not to show off. It's not meant for getting a job in the Department of Philosophy in a prestigious university. It's not meant for writing books after books, but they are meant for making my heart, getting that knowledge. Therefore, he says and gives example, Vyadihi. Vyadi, disease. Somebody has a disease, he is sick. Let us assume, let's not take any major illness, simple fever only. Somebody is running a fever. And then goes to the doctor, and the doctor prescribes an analgesic or say an aspirin, to reduce the temperature. Okay. Then this person, what he takes out a mala and started chanting the name of the medicine. Aspirin, 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 aspirin. He chants. So he has done one complete mala. The fever has not reduced. He checks his temperature. It has gone from 103 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Then he says, oh, just one mala is not enough. I will do one more mala. That is also not enough. Perhaps 1008 I should do. Perhaps 10,008 or 1,08,000, 1,000,008. That's not going to help you. So he says, the Shabda does not release you. It's not the words that release you, but it is the meaning that is grasped which is going to release you from samsara. Just chanting the name of the medicine will not. You have to take the medicine. That medicine has to get into your bloodstream. It has to do its thing. So, padam na mochati, pada artha mochati. The words themselves does not liberate you. It is the meanings of the words when grasped and lived. The name of the medicine will not reduce the fever. The medicine will reduce the fever. Similarly, aham brahmasmi words do not release you from samsara. When I say aham brahmasmi, it should be a fact for me. It should convey the truth to you, and you should be that Brahman. It should be a meaningful statement, and it should come from the innermost heart, the core of the heart. It should come. So that is why once in a while it's worth doing some introspection, especially if you are students of Vedanta for many years. Sometimes you become proud and say that I've been attending these classes for 10 to 12 years. I'm not saying you should not attend that long or anything like that. That's not the idea. The idea is when I keep attending, once in a while I should ask, is Aham Brahmasmi a meaningful truth for me? Is it a fact for me? Whether I convince others or not, that's not the question. Whether others accept me or not, as a realized person, that is not the question. I ask myself, am I Purnaha? Am I complete? Am I full? Do I feel content? Or I'm still wanting this, that, and whatnot? If I can do some soul searching and I can say, yes, I have accomplished what has to be accomplished. Vidyaranya Swami says in Panchadashi, we will see that also. Aho Shastram, Aho Shastram, Aho Guru, Aho Guru. Danyosmi, Kritakrityosmi. I am blessed. I am blessed. Have done what needs to be done. I'm fulfilled. I'm content. I don't care what others think of me. Once in a while, I should ask whether I'm convinced or not. That's the point. Therefore, he says, Aushadha Shabdadaha, with a mere word, medicine, medicine, medicine. Iti Shabdena, by repeating the word medicine, or the word of any medicine, the vyadihi negachati. The sickness will not go away. How would it go away? Panam vina, without taking the medicine. That medicine should enter your system, it should enter your bloodstream. That also takes time. Takes time. You take a pill, the moment you take the pill, your headache doesn't go down, fever does not go down. It may take 30 minutes, 1 hour, what have you. It should go to this into the system. Stomach must be capable of absorption. Sometimes the medicine is good, but your body, everybody is different. Sometimes the medicine is not absorbed by your body. So many things are there. Similarly, here also, Brahma Shabdaihi Muchyate, by merely repeating the Mahavakya, Aham Brahmasmi. And then one day I do that, the next day, okay, for change, I'm going to do another Mahavakya, Tattvamasi, another day, I am Atma Brahma. The fourth day, Prajnanam Brahma. Keep on doing that. Just on the lips, nothing more than that. He knows all Mahavakyas. He knows the meaning also. But what is the use? Therefore, the aparoksha anubhavam vina, without direct experience. Aparoksha anubhavam or aparoksha jnanam vina, without direct knowledge, without that internalization. Is that truth assimilated? Just like the medicine needs to be assimilated. Has this truth become one with you? Without that, namuchyate. One will not be liberated. Therefore, study the Shastra. It is a means of liberation. But when you study the Shastra, never forget the goal of Shastra. Don't rest till that is accomplished. Let it not become an academic exercise. Let it be meant for liberation. What do you mean by aparoksha jnana? What the Upanishad says, all the descriptions that are given, all that are talking about me. I have to remind constantly. Otherwise, we will think that Upanishad is talking about some Brahman. Because the language is like the use of language is like that. Description, the definition, and all that. It's always in third person. Brahman, Atman, Satchit Anandam. All that is there. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So those are all there. But then don't keep it in the third person. That Brahman I am. So Satyam Jnanam Anantam Aham Asmi. That is how you should understand. You need to abide in that. So when the description of Brahman is given, Jagat Karanam, यत्तद्रेश्य ग्राह्य गोत्रम अवर्णम आनंद स्वरूप असंग स्वरूप सर्वगत स्वरूप असंग all that is said about Brahman. It's not talking about some Brahman somewhere. No, it's talking about me. I have to remind myself. These descriptions should be a fact for me. Am I able to accept all that as a fact? Is it that I am unaffected by the events of life? I must be able to tell from the innermost heart that I am and I cannot be affected by any event in life. Nothing in this world affects me. So it means there should be no doubt about this fact in my mind. The first stage of internalization is constantly telling and reminding the description. The second step is asking the question to myself. Final internalization, the most important, is removing the gap between my knowledge and my day-to-day behavior in life. It's one thing to say I'm fearless, and another thing to be fearless. It's one thing to know I am Shantaha, and another thing to be Shantaha, to be peaceful. Knowledge should flow into my emotional personality. It's not enough if it just flows into my intellectual personality. It should sink into my psyche, into my subconscious. That is called aparoksha jnana. That is called aparoksha anubhava, a direct knowledge, direct experience. Intellectually, it's a fact for me. Emotionally, also, I feel the benefit of that knowledge. That's how Bhagavan Sri Krishna has described in the Bhagavad Gita. He describes Sthita Prajna Lakshanam. He said, Dukkeshu anudvignamanaha, Sukeshu vigadaspradha, Vita Raga Bhayakrodha, Sthitadihi. My mind is not agitated by sorrow, nor is it carried away by joyful experiences. I am able to experience that samatvam, equipoise. That is the steady mind of a realized master, a firm mind. That is called aproksha jnana, sthita prajna, sthira prajna, whatever you want to call, direct knowledge. So Shankaracharya says, without such a total transformation of my personality, without this total intellectual and emotional transformation, whatever you do is worthless. In these verses, he is driving home the point that we need to have that goal clarity. What my goal is, I should be very clear. and continue to pursue that till that is achieved. That's the point. Therefore, he says, Nagachati vina panam vyadihi aushada shabdatah. Just from the mere words of the medicine, you will not get cured. Vina aparoksha anubhavam. Similarly, without direct knowledge, anubhavam should not be translated experience. It should be understood as jnana. Aparoksha jnana, direct experience. Brahma shabdaihi na muchyate. One will not be liberated with just the mere repetition that I am Brahman. So that Brahma Jnanam should permeate into the innermost core of my personality. And should bring about not only an intellectual change, but an emotional change. I should be that. The intellectual change is conviction, the emotional change is freedom from kama, krodha, lobha, moha, madamatsarya. They are called the 6 diseases. Desire, anger, greed, delusion, pride, jealousy, all that. All those negativities should go away. That is aparoksha anubhavam, that is aparoksha jnana. Then he says, akritva drishya vilayam. Akritva drishya vilayam. Ajñātvā tattvamatmanah. Ajñātvā tattvamatmanah. Brahma shabdaih kuto muktihi. Brahma shabdaih kuto muktihi. Uktimatra palairnruna. Uktimatra palairnruna. Akritva drishya vilayam. Ajñātvā tattvamatmanah. Brahma shabdaih kuto muktihi. Uktimatra palairnruna. Shankaracharya says, Akritva drishya vilayam. Without the dissolution of the whole perceived world, withdrawing your mind's total attention from the world of objects and merging the mind in the self, akritva, if you have not done that, when you go to sleep, the world is not dissolved. You withdraw your attention to the world. However, the mind is still in a state of ignorance only. Here in meditation, akritva drishya vilayam, without dissolving drishya, the seen world, ajñātva tattvam atmanah, not knowing the nature of the truth, the self, Brahma Shabdaihi, the mere verbal repetition of the Upanishads, other commentaries, Kutaha Muktihi, where is liberation? How is liberation possible? Not help you at all. Two things are not accomplished. World is not dissolved, truth is not known. Just by the repetition of the words. No doubt, we have to study the Upanishads. You have to come to the words, you have to use the words. Words are important. When we say words will not liberate, we mean only their meanings will liberate, and that meaning you should get and abide in that. We should remember that the words are not criticized. They are not put down. Because without those words, there can be no communication. The knowledge has to be communicated only through words. That is the pipeline that connects the teacher's brain to the student's brain. They are the words. If I have to convey something to you all, I have to use the words. That's the only mode. I cannot connect an electric wire. One end is in my head, the other end is in your head, and it cannot be transmitted like that, like electricity. No, doesn't happen that way. But sometimes people think these things can be done. People talk about chakshushah diksha, diksha, sparshana diksha. You know, they go to a Mahatma and say, one mere look from you, I get liberated. Or put your hand on my head and bless me. Power of touching. Uh, those things may be possible in other mystic siddhi and all that. It's possible. But in the case of knowledge, transference of knowledge, no, no, no. It's not possible. Curing a disease, etc. A Siddha Purusha may be able to do miracles. And we get fascinated by them. When it comes to knowledge, there is no such transference. Not possible. If something like that, such a method was there, do you think Bhagavan Sri Krishna would have used that? When Arjuna was in trouble and he was suffering because he didn't have this Atma Jnana and all his problems he is described, he cried his heart out in the first chapter. Bhagavan knew his problem is knowledge only or lack thereof, ignorance. He didn't have that knowledge. So how to give him the knowledge? Just one look, that's all it took. Touch, shoe. No, he didn't use any of that. Bhagavan is all samartha. He could have done that. Instead, he gave him right in the battlefield. Took the time to teach him Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana, self-knowledge. And that was accomplished through words. Transference of knowledge, the means is words. So we are not criticizing or saying those words are useless. So even Bhagavan transferred that Atma Jnana, self-knowledge, only by that method, Upanishadic words. He gave the essence of Upanishad in the Gita also. So remember, words are extremely important. But what Shankaracharya says here is, they are a means, very effective means. They are not the end in themselves. So don't just hang on to words. Don't hang on to books. Books are containers of words. Then what should you do? Give sufficient importance to the words as a means. Through that, understand what is being said and let it be internalized. Let it get assimilated into you. From the shabda, the words, the sadhanam, the means, you have to come to artha, the meaning, which is the sadhyam, the goal to be accomplished, the destination you have to reach. You have to get there. In the case of seekers, there are two extremes. One is a person who says that knowledge is important, words are not important. Words will not give mukti, liberation. Therefore, they do not go to a guru. They do not study the Shastra. Instead, they say, I will sit in meditation. I need to figure out, I need to know the self. I need to know who am I. So they just sit, keep on asking, who am I, who am I, who am I, without any Shastric study. Uh, no words, nothing. Will that help? No. And there is another extreme group who just hang on to the words. Words, words, and words. They study the Upanishads by heart. All the major Upanishads, they can chant. They don't need a book to look into, to read, to recite, to chant by heart. And then, not only the Upanishads, they've studied the Upanishads. So many commentaries on that, sub commentaries, Tika, Partika, everything. And they just hang on to the words. They don't live that. Just hanging on. They will continue to be samsari. So the right person is the one who does not just hang on to the words. Forever. You use that. You understand? And then abide in the truth. Therefore, Shankaracharya criticizes those people who just are stuck with the words, do not come to the artha at all. He says, Brahma Shabdaihi, by mere words, Kutaha Muktihi, where is liberation? What is the benefit if you hang on to the words? It can give you only Ukti Matra Palaihi. The only benefit is that you can quote the Upanishads left and right. You can quote from the Bhagavad Gita. The other people will say, what a great scholar. You can teach others. But you will be worried. How many students will I get? The other teacher, he has more students. You are teaching Aham Puranaha, I am Triptaha, I am full, I am content. But I worry. Will I get enough number of students? Organize a yajna, will people come? Is the hall going to be empty? So do not hang on to the words, just the words. Ask the question, have I assimilated that? Have I digested that teaching? Have I internalized the teaching? Am I living that? Uh, do I behave like Brahman? Am I being Brahman? Not just saying, I am Brahman. If not, kutaha muktihi? How can there be liberation for such a person who has not internalized this truth? Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.